Tell me about that trip.
So in the past winter, I went to Siberia, Russia. I was there for about 3 months, and I was preparing for the biggest trip in my life, which was to travel across Baikal from south to north for almost 700 kilometers. And yeah, I prepared for like 45 days in Siberia, and then I walked 23 days across Baikal. So that was really exciting.
At the very beginning,
Yeah.
Jiangjun, you were traveling with a Russian guy.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be your guide, while at the same time providing support to you.
He was more like a travel companion.
I see.
He wasn't really my guide because he had the same idea and same dream to traverse Baikal. He said it's a great trip and adventure for our Siberian men.
How did you find him?
Through a common friend whose name is Cozy. Before I went to Russia in July, I Skyped with Fyodor 4 times, and I can sense that he really likes adventure, and he knows Baikal really well. He understands cold travel very well, and he's very no profile. And that's what I like the most, because I think as a travel companion in the very harsh conditions like Lake Baikal in winter,
yeah.
I think it's very important that you have a no profile personality, because if you just want to be famous, then that's not a good start, because if you're trying to be a hero, then that's dangerous. You may not judge very well. But if you just love adventure and love the idea to travel across Baikal itself, I think that's more like a good companion to go with, because try to be a hero is dangerous. Try to just live another life. I think that's the key.
So you didn't want to be a hero?
Well, this is what I want to do. That's not my goal to become a hero. It's just my dream.
The trip
to do
itself.
Yeah.
But then your travel companion forgot to bring his snow goggles. As a result, he became snow blind.
Yeah.
And he has to quit. But at the very beginning, you were trying to provide him with your own snow goggles so that he could survive the trip. It didn't work out.
I think he kind of underestimated the trip on Baikal, because I think he understands snow blindness really well, because he's also a mountaineer guide, which means he goes to the mountain, he guides people to the mountain very often, so he knows the situation very well, and he has the same problem before, only in the mountains.
Yeah.
And in Baikal, usually in March, in the southern part of Baikal, usually it's more of ice. So everything is ice. It's not really slow. But this year in March, the first 6 days, it slowed really heavy every day, like 5 days out of 6.
I see.
So everywhere is white. And that's just kind of very abnormal this year.
When you gave him the snow goggle, did you realize that you were probably the one that's likely to also suffer from snow blind as a result of it?
I knew the situation of snow blind before, so I prepared really well. I have 2 pair of glasses. One is sunglasses, one's goggle. So I can lend him. I can lend him my goggle. I can keep my sunglasses. It also can protect my eyes.
But at the time he was suffering too much, he had to quit. That meant you have to be alone,
right.
Only on your own.
Right.
From then on.
Right.
What was it like?
I didn't really wish that he quit. I wished he would go with me, because he's really experienced and he's really strong, as strong as a bear, I would say. Because
did he know that analogy?
yeah, I think he knew that, because before our trip, I went for a hike and camping trip with him in a Siberian forest called Taiga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he carried really big, heavy backpack and still walk faster than me, and that was just unbelievable. And he's always on how to survive in the cold is also really amazing. So I think he trains me a lot, and he's really strong, and he knows Baikal really well.
What did he train you about?
Like different things. For example, when we're walking in Siberian forest, when we go downhills, like he walk really fast, like from a top of a small mountain to the bottom really fast, and then walk really slow. Like he would yell at the bottom of the mountain. He said, "Ivan, be fast! Your brain is smarter than your legs. Just
But
walk."
that's not training, and that's urging.
Well, his training is very different. His training is very harsh. It's not very fun that he is is your trainer or helps you.
Tough love, I guess.
Yes, very, very tough love. It's you love him afterwards.
Yeah.
But when you're training with him, you hate him. So that was a really scary moment when he said, maybe he cannot go with me anymore because his eyes he had double vision when he sees things.
That's really problematic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there were sand in his eyes. He has to quit, and that was a very scary moment because I always want to go with a Russian partner for this trip because I'm not very confident in code, especially on the ice.
好的消息就是我的俄罗斯同伴 Fyodor， 他被迫不能跟我一起走剩下的350公里了。肉体上、精神上都非常痛，所以他昨天早上打车回伊尔库斯克，然后刚刚因为到了奥尔空岛，真的是有手机信号的。刚刚跟他通电话，他说他的眼睛比较严重，需要不少于几天的休息时间，所以他肯定不能跟我一起走剩下的这一段了。所以剩下的350公里需要我一个人完成。那我现在其实昨天就拖了他的雪橇，因为他的雪橇上面有2个滑雪板，这样在有积雪的地方拖起来要轻松一点。
It was a very hard decision for me to decide, should I continue alone or I go home? So it's a struggle. Because to go with him, I definitely feel much safer. I feel like it's going to be okay. But to go alone, it's scary, but it's also kind of an opportunity to truly test myself for a real adventure, to go for the rest, especially the northern part, which is completely wild. There's no people live there. I think if you want to achieve anything really big, you have to take risk. So I feel like I have done the right preparation. I read all the literature, the stories, the films about travel on Baikal in winter. I have got all the right gear.
Yes.
I have talked to all the people who have similar experience. For example, who climb mountains, who go to Arctic and Antarctica for expeditions. And I have talked to the people who travel on Baikal. I've talked with local people. I have trained in Siberian forest. I have even practiced swimming in cold water in January in Siberia, just to get used to the water.
Yeah, just what if, right?
Yeah,
You're cracked into the snow and also under the ice.
Right, exactly. So why not, go hard for these 3 weeks and then, go home, rest, for as long as I want and be proud for the rest of my life.
旅行探险早期可能要觉得出一下风头啊，或要证明自己，或要证明他是错的。但是旅行多了，探险多了，会让人变得更加谦虚，会觉得自然很伟大，整个世界很伟大。你没有别人的帮助，你没有运气的帮助，你走不了多远，你做不了多远。不会想去征服什么的，只是战胜自己而已。
今天大概攻下了45公里，这是一个非常棒的表现，所以我决定奖励自己一盒罐头。 这是桃子罐头，哇！
I mean, there is always a chance you may die. You can even die in the cities. You can get hit by a car. So I mean, there is always risk for that.
You have the burning desire to go.
Yeah.
Just like that. How long did it take you to make that decision?
I think maybe like 1 day because Fyodor left on day 8. And day 9 and day 10, I'm near the island Arhon, which is kind of a central part of Baikal. It's a touristic destination, so there is transportation.
Yes.
Over there, I can decide to go back or continue. If I continue, then there's no way that you're gonna return.
What did you do during those 2 days?
I was
Have some vodka or what?
I wish. I was still walking because I tried to reach the village Huzir. Over there are hostels. Yes. So I reached there at day 10, and then day 11 it was a rest day, and then I get all my resupply for food and fuel, and then I have to make a decision: should I go, or just return to Irkutsk and go back to China? So it took 1 day to make that decision, but somewhere deep down I know that I would continue. to find excuse to go home is comfortable, but that's not the right thing to do.
That's not you.
That's not me, and that's not the right thing to do. Sometimes the easier way is not the right way. The harder way is the right way. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever regretted from time to time your original decision, or at least have a second thought, just for a second?
Yeah. There were 2 times. I think one night, maybe day 16 or 17, something like that. I was in my tent, and the wind was blowing really strong.
I saw that moment, huh?
Yeah, it was really scary because I wasn't really sure my tent was strong enough to survive in the wind. Because on Baikal, it's very, very wide. There's nothing. It's very flat on the lake.
That's right.
So it's very, very windy. It's very scary because if your tent is blown away, then you're done.
You're done, yeah. And also there was ice under you.
Yeah.
And yet there are huge cracks. You could hear the sound of the cracks.
Yeah.
While you were sleeping.
Yeah.
It must be sweet dreams, I guess, for that night.
Yeah. I think that was maybe something like day 20. I was camping on the ice. When you're on the ice, you can hear the sound of ice cracking. And usually for the people who go there for the first few times, it's really, really scary.
这是刚刚裂开的灯笼啊，难怪听到各种砰砰砰跟裂开的声音，很长一条裂缝。
But that fear is just your instinct.
But you never know.
You never know. Yeah, there is a chance that you will crack very big, you will fall into the water, but it's chance it's small if you read other people's experience.
But how did you fight against your fear? I mean, you have to go to sleep because you have a whole day to go the next day.
I took the prevention. I think I bought earplugs. It says,
Does it work?
It says the best earplugs in the world. So when I get scared,
On the Lake of Baikal, right?
On Lake Baikal, yeah. So when I feel scared, I just put the world's best earplugs there, and then I don't hear so much noise, but it's still scary.
Yeah.
And then I told myself, this is irrational fear. You just don't think about it. You're gonna be fine. If the ice is gonna crack for real, there's nothing you can do about it. Just.
How did you fight loneliness besides talking to your unprofessional camera?
So I have audiobooks in my phone that I listen sometimes.
What kind of books?
All kinds of stories that I feel that I can learn lessons from other people. This is also keep me sane, so my brain's active.
Which any of those stories really you want to listen over and over again?
It's about Einstein.
Einstein.
Yeah.
So Einstein kept you walking.
Yeah, and also on the lake is really beautiful. Some
right.
parts was incredibly beautiful, and I've never seen things like that. The shore or mountains covered with snow, and the sunset and sunrise usually are incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's no other people, just me.
Just right.
Just me. That I can enjoy the view.
So that's your world.
That's my reward. Actually, most of the time I don't really spend a lot of time to savor the sunset. Because I only have limited daytime. I was trying to cover more distance.
Yes.
And when I stop, I camp. So I don't really have a lot of time to do that usually. But when something really beautiful, I stop. I took my thermal bottle, I drink some tea, I eat some snacks, and then I enjoy that.
How can you, at the same time, so elevated by the fact that you are there and the world on the Lake of Baikal with that beautiful sunrise and sunset, all yours. But at the same time, keep your posture very calm. I just don't know how it worked out. Help me to understand it.
Like I said, before I started my trip, Fyodor told me, don't try to be a hero. Just try to live another life.
Yeah.
That's very important because you don't really get so excited because the view every day the view is pretty much great, so you don't get overly excited.
Yeah. Do you think you're responsible for your family when you are making all of those decisions?
For me, it's very important to keep a balance, a good balance to to pursue my dream and also go home safe. That's a balance. That's a balance which is very hard to keep sometimes, but that's the balance I try to keep.
You know, you are becoming this rising star in China in terms of doing adventures. I maybe wonder, how is that shaping your idea about yourself and your ideas about what to do for the future and why you're going to do it?
I think doing adventures and going to so many places, I think it makes me want to become a better person, want to be a good person. The reason I would say that is, for example, when I was in Baikal, when I was in Russia, Siberia, many people helped me. For example, the hostel I stayed before my trip, I stayed there 45 days. The hostel owner told me I don't have to pay because he supports what I do and he believes what I do has a lot of values, can inspire people.
Wow.
And for example, people in Russia, people give me free gears that they think I need, give me socks, give me some clothes. They think I might be able to use it. People lend me their sled. I think it's very useful to have in Baikal. So many people helped me because Siberia is a place where they have very large land, but they have very few people. And it's a very harsh place when it's really cold in winter. So it's really hard to survive alone in Siberia. So people have the habit to help each other, help strangers in Siberia. Many places in America, in Europe, everywhere, and in Azerbaijan, in Georgia, the places I've traveled, people helped me. And the only way, and I will probably never meet these people again. The only way that I can repay them, is to pay it forward, to become a good person,